Comfortable.
I am
The seats
comfortable.
warm and massage and cool if you want to.
Massage, huh? I am fine. What's it?
Fam, welcome back to another episode of Tasting with Tank. Now, I know this look a little different from the last time, but me and Mel, we done this before.
We have.
Probably my favorite episode was the one we did, and I didn't set the camera up right, and our faces are only in the thing probably like 30% of the time.
Come over just
No, you good now.
Okay.
I made sure you could see your window and my window. So the episode never went up because visually it just didn't go. But it was one of my favorite episodes because it was a good conversation. But we go. I'm gonna explain that. We're gonna get to it. Go on, let them know who you are. I know they know who you are.
Yes.
Somebody may have stumbled onto the page.
I am Melanie Goolsby, aka I'm not a lawyer, but on many of the platforms, YouTube, TikTok, all the things, is who I am.
Everything, everywhere. And your Patreon.
Oh, and I have a Patreon, patreon.com/I'm not a lawyer, but.
Hey, so the last time we did this, she wasn't a lawyer, but
I wasn't yet.
At all.
At all.
She was into car chases, and she was sharing that amongst her friends.
Yes.
Which made me get into car chases. I started sending them to her. She was like, "Oh, this is old. I seen this last year." But since then,
yes.
Hold up.
Right.
First, we're gonna talk about this love for car, because y'all didn't see that episode. We're gonna talk about the love for car chases.
Okay. So I have an obsession with car chases, mainly because LA is such a weird place that they have car chases still, and they have them so often. Other states will have them, but like not as many as LA.
We'll probably see one. While
literally, it's insane. And so the fact that it happened is what like interests me. But then what happens afterward, like I'm always interested. It's crazy to see on the highway and watch on the TV and the screens, but like what happens afterwards to these people? Why did they go in a car chase? Is it a stolen car? Are they just wanted? Are they just people joyriding? Like I would get invested in the actual stories of what happened to these people.
And what's crazy is that they rack up charges as they're driving.
Absolutely.
You speeding, that's a charge. Reckless endangerment, that's 100%. A charge. Oh, you drove through a school zone, that's a charge. Like,
literally.
Oh, you almost hit somebody else. Another charge, attempted murder. Like
you can get you all of a sudden think you're on a joyride and now you're in jail for the rest of your life because you stupid.
Yeah, and it was just intriguing. I don't remember the specific one that we talked about, but I remember like I was like driving like what?
There ones that like when the dogs come out.
Oh,
I'm always all in because
Belgian Malinois. They send a hair missile after.
Listen, them dogs go crazy and them people be on the ground. So.
And I remember it was one that I saw, and this dude, while on the chase, he had rolled up on this minivan, pulled this lady out. I think he punched her as he pulled her out.
Oh my gosh!
Jumped in her van and took off, so they chasing him. And I don't know, the helicopter definitely saw it because we saw it, but I don't know if the cops saw that. I'm like, they must have been reported to him or something.
Yeah.
Because when that fool finally got to a dead end and had to get out, he laid on the ground and surrendered. No, he didn't surrender. He ran. And they sent that dog after him. And I swear the dog stopped running and just started flying toward the dude, like 20 feet behind him, locked onto him. Mm-hmm. The dog is shaking. You can see blood starting to come from a dude, like his armpit where the dog is shaking him.
That's crazy.
The cops got there. They're just holding the conversation, just letting the dog get his reward. And it was so satisfying to see. But I'm like, you see what he done? Ain't no telling what he did before that.
And that's the other thing that is like freaks me out. It literally freaks me out now because I probably have watched so many, is now anytime I cross intersections in LA, I'm always like looking to make sure that a car is not racing down the street, somebody's not running. When I'm on the highway, I'm always looking to make sure, like, I look at them because it's fascinating and like I'm always intrigued by it, but that stuff is crazy. And people, to your point about other charges, they hit people, they kill people, like all that stuff happens. And so I'm always like, this is insane. So it makes me on high alert, but I also tune in. It's a weird thing.
No, that's a good practice to have. I didn't start doing it again out here until I was in an Uber, but I always, when the light changes, I always set for a second or two, and I look as I'm going through the intersection. Because me and Angel was in an Uber one time, and somebody plowed through the intersection like the light had turned green. We were like the fourth car back, and everybody starts going out, and the car right in front of us got T-boned. And I'm like, that person was not paying attention.
Yep.
Luckily, nobody got injured. Both of them were like up and talking, but like we stayed until the ambulance. I don't remember where we were going. I'm like, we were in an Uber. Like,
yeah.
It was like, this is crazy.
That's so crazy.
But all right, so since the car chase thing, now you have blossomed into this phenomenon of keeping up with these trials. People thinking you a lawyer.
I'm really not. And I don't want to become one. I don't want to like practice law.
I'm like, you know enough about law at this point.
I know, right? That's literally how it feels.
Just get into it.
So it related really to the car chases in the sense that like I would follow up with people who would be arrested. I would want to know what happens to them and about the charges. And so I've always had an interest in this kind of stuff. Honestly, I love reality TV, and low-key trials feel like reality TV. They're like a ridiculous version of it. And so all of that to say, I had been watching trials and I would share them on the Gin and Juice podcast. I would be like, oh my gosh, I'm keeping up with this. And so people started saying like, you should like fully recap these and tell people about what you're watching. So I started doing that, and then like people loved it. So I've been doing it ever since. I just recap trials and lawsuits and like taking all that information and then try to spit it back out in a way that is accessible and understandable for just a regular person. And so, I do it for lawsuits and for trials and for any other thing I can.
That's what attorneys do for juries. They just break it down and simplify it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you've actually had families reach out to you from cases that have not, I ain't gonna say resurfaced, but like kind of went cold. And like you've had families reach out to you.
I've had a bunch of people contact me asking me to cover their case or cover a person is in jail and they want to get some publicity to it. They feel like they were wronged. I've gotten, literally last night, somebody was like, I've gotten 3 DUIs. Can you help me? And I was like, stop drinking and driving. Like,
Because she's not a lawyer.
Because I'm not a lawyer, but also common sense and like for the safety of everybody else, stop drinking and driving.
And no attorney want that charge, want that case.
Here's the lesson.
Did you drink? Yeah. Then you got your license taken. Like
pretty easy. But I have gotten a lot of people, just reach out and want me to cover their cases, which is amazing. And like, I always want to do some. I say I'm not a lawyer, but I'm also not a journalist in the sense that like I haven't been doing this for a long time and didn't, like major in that. But on the other side of that, I do try to take a lot of care in researching whatever it is that I'm talking about. So I'm not just, going off of a news article that I saw, but like I want to go actually see the documents myself, see what the charges are, see what the police report says, see what people are saying. Like I want to intake all of that so that I'm not just like flying off the cuff and giving people information that can't be verified.
Right. But ain't that journalism?
It is. And so a lot of people I don't understand why you say you're not a journalist, but it's because I really do have a lot of respect for people who are journalists and who have been doing this for a long time. Like, I'm not on the beaten path. I'm not calling people, right? Like journalists, investigative journalists, they are like calling you.
But you just added another title, investigative journalist.
That's true, yes.
Journalist, though.
Sure. Yes. In that sense, I just want to verify what I'm talking about. I just want to read it myself and then highlight the points. So anyway, that's what I'm doing.
That's dope.
But thank you.
When I tell you, she was CEO of Netflix.
You are so
running the show. Everything I love on Netflix prior to 2022.
Hilarious.
Went across her desk and she approved or not approved it.
Did not.
And then they was like, you know what? We can't afford you no more.
They could.
You done blew up.
Amen.
And then she done stepped out, and now she's not a lawyer. But God dang.
Yes.
Like, and what's your TikTok right now?
The number?
Yes.
I think I just crossed 570,000. I want to get to 600, about 600K by my birthday. We'll see.
When's your birthday? Hold on.
June 6th.
Okay. I was going to say, I think I know this.
Yes.
And for how many months have you been doing this?
I actually started June 7th was my very first video. So it'll be a full year.
Wow.
By my birthday. So I want to see, how many I'll have by then.
That's crazy growth.
It is. I'm very excited.
To take a hobby, not even the first one was a hobby, just something you did for fun.
Yeah.
And then turn it into this. That's That's impressive, man.
Thank you. Thank
that
you.
That really is impressive.
I'm very excited. My YouTube is growing, and I'm very excited about that. I have a goal to hit 20,000 by my birthday as well. And I started trying to be serious about that in December. So I've been able to hopefully hit 20,000 in 6 months. So we'll see. I'm very excited about the growth and also being able to, okay, I'm going to be nerdy, but I feel like a lot of people don't understand the judicial system. And so being able to like shine light on what is happening in some of these cases, like I cover YSL, which is ridiculous in and of itself. Yeah. But I think it's important for people to understand how what's happening is happening. And so when we get a verdict, people aren't just like, oh my gosh, that was wrong or that was right. But like you actually were able to follow and understand how we got to that verdict, if it was a fair verdict, if it's not. But like, you know what I'm saying? You're not just like flying off the cuff saying stuff, but like you actually, I hope to be able to provide some information for people to back up what they're saying.
And that's, you know what, that's really important because I think did me and Chance talk about this? We were talking about how, especially black people, we can quote Bible scriptures like nobody's business.
Yes.
Just in general.
100%.
We can quote songs, we can quote a whole lot of stuff, but nobody knows the laws that affect them.
Oh my gosh.
In a negative way.
Yes.
It's like,
yes,
this stuff needs to be taught, needs to be preached. Like I don't know, churches need to hit on it.
Absolutely.
Everybody needs to hit on it. Like just common laws. It's like you get pulled over, you get charged, and it be over some simple stuff.
Yes.
And it's like, we definitely need to know that.
Yeah. Even the difference, I've been reading a lot about criminal law because, again, I just want to be informed about it. And the difference between being detained and being arrested, right?
Two
like, obviously, the Diddy thing just happened, and his children, when that raid happened, his children were detained. Right. And a lot of people were just like, oh, my gosh, arrested. But those are very different. If you are ever put in handcuffs and you ask, am I free to leave? And the answer is yes. You are detained. You are not arrested. Right. If you are arrested, you are not free to leave.
Right.
Okay. There is probable cause. You are in handcuffs. You are going to jail more than likely. But if you ever, and it's important to ask that question if you're ever unclear, but to ask, am I free to go? Because if the answer is yes, and especially if you haven't been read your rights, right? Like a part of being arrested, you've got to be read rights. So those are all key things that like people need to know, you need to know, people need to be informed about, that you are asking, you know, when those situations happen anyway. That kind of stuff I get nerdy about.
It's true, because a lot of people, and cops will lie, they literally can lie. Yeah. Like legally can lie.
100%.
But like you can get detained during a traffic stop. Just simply, oh, he feels unsafe and just gonna put you in handcuffs, you're detained.
Yes.
That means nothing. They're just gonna call the other people or check the car, okay, you're good to go. However, and they can detain you and be like, am I free to go? No, because you're detained.
And you need to know
that you need to know that you're not arrested. It's a very simple thing that people don't know.
100%.
But no, it is interesting, and I think you definitely are doing. Hopefully, people are getting more out of it than just entertainment.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they're getting educated from it also, because that type of stuff is very important. And like, look, it ain't like I know the law like the back of my hand.
Go ahead and say it. I'm not a lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer. But I do know enough to know that that's a lot that I don't know, and I will question every single thing.
100%, and you should. Yeah.
Yeah, there was I got pulled over one time, and he accused me of doing something that I didn't do. He said, "You know, I pulled you over." I was like, "I have an idea," but no. He was like, "I saw you hopping in and out of the carpool lane." I was like, "No, I didn't."
Hello.
He was like, "Yeah, I saw you hop out of the carpool lane." I said, "You didn't. You never saw me get in the carpool lane. I never got in the carpool lane."
Yeah.
I said, "There was a red truck that was in front of me that was driving crazy. I sped up to get past him, and I got over in front of him because he kept slowing down for no reason." I said, "I never got in the carpool lane." He was like, "Okay, were you speeding?" I said, "Absolutely." I know the fact that he had to ask me if I was speeding, he don't know how fast I was going. I could have been going 5 miles over.
Yeah.
I could have been going 1 mile over, but I was definitely speeding.
Yeah.
I said, "Absolutely, I was speeding." He was like, "Thank you for your honesty." He said, "You sure you wasn't in the carpool lane?" I said, I know I was. I was absolutely not in the carpool lane. Simple as that. He was like, "All right, I'm gonna let you go to one," and I was like, "Thank you." You know, like it was. I wasn't being an asshole or snippy. I was just letting him know. No, you never saw me in the carpool lane.
Yeah. And that kind of stuff, because interactions with police can be so scary.
Oh, I was nervous as hell.
but being able to communicate with them in a respectful way, but also communicate what you know to be true and your rights and all of that stuff is also important. It's
as well, not to meet them, especially when you get an asshole.
Yeah,
not to meet them on their level.
Yeah.
Just stay calm and just
100%.
regardless of what they're saying, just stay calm.
Yeah.
And if you want to get a supervisor there, so be it. But it's just like never try to meet them on their level because, like I said, they can legally lie.
Yeah, they have the ability.
So y'all, that's a little insight on Mel.
Yes.
Regardless of what happens with this footage, it's going up. I don't care about the sound. I don't care about it visually if it's shaking because we're not wasting another goddamn episode.
It's hilarious.
And the only reason I did is because the last one was so good. But this is like you saw this, and then we would both go out. You could only see my right and her left shoulder most of the video, and I was so mad. So hilarious. I don't even know. I don't know what's going on behind this camera right now. We should have
did this in some go-karts, some bumper cars.
But hey, it's going up regardless. But thank you so much. Hold on, before I finish, you are the gin to Melissa's juice.
I am. Gin and Juice Podcast. I'm the gin.
Is gin your drink of choice? Or what is your drink of choice?
You know what? In general, I just love a lychee martini. That's just my jam.
Lychee martini?
Oh, man.
That's
any and everywhere I am, if they serve it, I'm taking it.
Nice, refreshing summer drink.
Especially when it's cold.
Yeah.
It's the best. So that is my preference for sure.
A lot of times I'll be sipping on like a bourbon or a straight bourbon. And Angel will get one of those, and I'll sip that just to get something refreshing.
Yes, it's so good, and the fruit itself is so good.
It's almost like grabbing, I don't know, like you eating something spicy, and then you grab like something carbonated to wash it down.
Yes. So good.
Lychee martini. Okay, that's a good one.
Yes.
I don't know what order your episode. It might be first, being that you were literally the last episode that I did when I reintroduced it.
Yes.
But yeah, this is going up, y'all. Y'all gonna see it.
We love it. I'm excited.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's fun.
Make sure you check out Mel on everything.
Yes.
I know y'all already over. Go on, let them know where they can find you again.
I'm Not a Lawyer, but that is Patreon, on TikTok, on YouTube, and on Instagram. My personal Instagram is You've Got Mel. You can follow me there as well. And then Gin and Juice Podcast. Follow me there. We have the Instagram page as well as the podcast itself. And then I'm Not a Lawyer, but The Debrief, which is a podcast that I do with my husband, where we kind of do an overview of some of the trials and lawsuits that I've been covering on the different pages. So that's brand new, but it's been fun.
Absolutely. And as always, thank y'all for tuning in. We'll catch y'all next time.
Bye.